There is a quiet choreography that happens inside you every time a date on the calendar whispers your name. Some people lift their eyes to the sky and feel a hush of wonder, as if the universe itself were lighting a candle for them. Others shrug and carry on, answering emails, folding laundry, avoiding calls, telling themselves it's just another day. But what if the way you treat your birthday is not a trivial preference, but a living X-ray of your self-concept, your beliefs about receiving, your relationship with the infinite, and the permissions you grant your subconscious mind to create your future? What if the habit of saying it's nothing is not humility but an old instruction, planted long ago, that keeps the gate closed while life waits outside holding gifts with your name on them? In the laboratory of the mind, the smallest rituals become seeds. We plant them in the soil of the subconscious and then we walk through forests we don't recognize as our own. Your birthday is a seed. The question is not whether you celebrate with balloons or silence. The question is what instruction you give your inner life about your worth, your expectancy, and your openness to new cycles of good. The psychology of those who treat their birthday like just another day often begins with the law Joseph Murphy called the law of belief. As you think, feel, and accept as true in your heart, so it is done unto you. If the inner verdict says, I am not that special, the subconscious, which never argues, is obliged to fulfill the sentence. It quietly lowers the lights on opportunities, muffles the applause, reduces the color in your days. Not because life is cruel, but because the creative engine within you obeys what you repeatedly impress upon it. And if, year after year, the message is indifference, life learns to walk past your door politely. When you declare a day ordinary, your mind obliges by filtering out the extraordinary. I do not speak of forced parties or performative joy. I speak of the spiritual mathematics behind acknowledgement. In nature, cycles matter. The seed breaks ground in spring, the fruit ripens in season, the tide arrives when it is called by the moon. Your birthday is a personal equinox, a turning where the conscious and the subconscious can meet and agree on a higher pattern. To ignore the turning is to drift. To honor it, quietly or boldly, is to claim authorship of the coming chapter. Have you noticed how your thoughts shape your reality? Have you noticed how years that began with expectancy seem to attract encounters, ideas, and provisions, as if an invisible concierge were arranging your steps? Expectancy is not superstition, it is organized faith, and your birthday is one of the most natural portals through which expectancy can be impressed upon the mind. Listen closely, the subconscious is not moved by cake, it is moved by conviction. If you can sit in a small room, breathe, and sincerely say to life, I welcome my good, I accept a better pattern, I am ready, you have already thrown open the windows of your house and invited light. And if all you have known is the habit of minimizing yourself, let this be the year you practice a new sentence. The mind is a garden, and a single generous seed can start a harvest of transformations. Comment I believe in divine power if you feel this awakening within you. And before we go deeper, allow me to invite you into an agreement with your future. If you believe there's something greater guiding your life, subscribe now and like this video to continue your transformation journey. That small act is also a seed, it is an outward sign that you're choosing alignment, learning, and a community of minds aiming higher. There is a scientific side to this. You are a creature of suggestion. The subconscious accepts every repeated thought, every sentence you don't contest, every feeling you rehearse. In childhood, a stray comment from a hurried adult can become a law you obey for decades. Don't make a fuss, don't take up space, don't expect too much. On birthdays, those forgotten laws tend to wake up and quietly run the script, decline invitations, demote good news, look away from compliments, dismantle surprise. Yet suggestion works in the other direction too. From this year forward, you may write a new law and inscribe it with feeling, I am permitted to receive, life is safe to me, I recognize my worth in God's order. When this law is impressed upon the deeper mind with warmth and repetition, your atmosphere changes. People sense it. Doors recognize it. Circumstances rearrange to match it. The birthday you once ignored becomes a hinge on which a brighter story swings open. Those who treat their birthday as just another day are often protecting themselves from disappointment. If I don't hope, I cannot be let down, if I don't announce, I cannot be ignored. But this defense costs more than it saves. It teaches your subconscious that protection is more important than reception, that the safest life is the smallest life, that the way to avoid pain is to restrict joy. The subconscious, taking this as law, becomes vigilant around anything new. Love must be vetted twice, opportunities are suspect, praise is deflected, abundance is postponed. This is not prudence, it is an allergy to blessing. And it is curable through what Murphy called scientific prayer, the deliberate harmonizing of your thinking with the good you desire, until the conscious and the subconscious hold the same picture with the same feeling. Which thought do you repeat most during the day, and what is it creating in your life? If your sentence has been "it's nothing," the result has been small harvests. If your sentence becomes "I am guided, supplied, and worthy," the result becomes a life that reflects this new law. A woman named Elena always brushed past her birthday. She would answer, "Just another Wednesday," and vanish into chores. Her friends stopped planning anything because she would cancel. She told herself she was being practical, but her life had become a repetition of modest days, modest checks, modest hopes. One evening in late autumn, she found an old notebook with a childhood list. "On my birthday, I want to see the ocean." She laughed at the innocence of it and then she cried. The next morning she performed what Murphy would call a new suggestion. She stood by her window, placed her hand on her heart, and said, "I permit myself to be celebrated by life. I am safe to receive. I bless my year and I welcome something beautiful." She felt nothing dramatic, just a soft warmth. But the instruction was given. Within a week, a client rescheduled a meeting to a seaside town and asked if she could join to present her work. Her first reaction was to decline. The old law stirred. But the new suggestion was louder, so she accepted. On that trip, she met a collaborator who opened a door to the career she had quietly wanted. She also walked to the shore on the very day she was born and let the salt cover her hands. The ocean had been waiting since childhood. No magic tricks, only the precise mechanics of a mind that had exchanged its nothing for "I am ready." Why does this happen? Because the subconscious, once given a clear, felt idea, recruits your habits, your attention, and your environment to deliver congruent outcomes. You begin to notice emails you would have ignored, you answer calls you would have missed, you speak with a tone that says "I belong here," and people respond. In Murphy's language, you scientifically pray by accepting the desired end as done in feeling and by refusing the opposite impression. On a birthday, the end you may accept is simple: "I am a child of the infinite, my year is guided, new good appears easily." Hold it with affection, not strain. Strain says it is far, affection says it is already mine. The law of mind responds to the latter. Consider another figure, a man named Gabriel who once loved birthdays. As a boy he counted the days in bright crayon strokes, convinced that wonders clustered around his date like birds. Then came years of difficult news, losses, disappointments, and he hardened. When the month approached, he would lower his expectations as if dimming the lights. He told friends, "It's fine, I don't need anything." But his deeper message to life was, "Don't come too close." One day, holding his coffee, he realized he had been trying to avoid grief by avoiding joy. He decided to experiment with Murphy's advice, to affirm a new pattern and let the subconscious carry it out. For 30 mornings before his birthday, he sat quietly and practiced a sentence: "I consent to good. I welcome divine timing. It is safe to receive." The first week he felt silly. The second week, he felt calmer. The third week, he laughed for no reason. On the day itself he took a small step that symbolized the bigger law. He wrote a letter to himself, thanking his heart for surviving and promising that he would no longer ration beauty. Over the next season his relationships softened. Opportunities gathered. He later said that the biggest change was invisible. "I went from defending myself against the year to partnering with it." This is the psychological pivot for those who dismiss birthdays. The pivot is not in the decorations, it is in the law you file with your subconscious. If you impress the idea that life is a test you must pass without assistance, the subconscious equips you with a life of exams. If you impress the idea that life is a collaboration with an infinite presence that loves to give, the subconscious turns your attention toward every corridor where that presence is whispering yes. The mind is not a tyrant, it is a faithful servant. It becomes whatever you ask with feeling and repetition. This is why rituals matter, they are the vehicles by which feelings are made stable enough to be accepted as law. Let us speak plainly about humility, because many who dislike birthdays hide behind it. True humility is not shrinking, it is alignment. It says, I of myself do not manufacture the universe, but I am an open instrument for good to flow. False humility says, I must vanish so that others can shine. The first expands all boats, the second sinks you quietly. When you tell people not to bother, when you reject kind words, when you play down your wins, your subconscious hears, connection is unsafe, abundance is embarrassing, love is a burden. It then protects you by reducing your encounters with all three. You end up lonely and under-resourced, wondering why life is indifferent. It is not indifferent, it is obedient. Now imagine handling your birthday with the serene logic of new thought. Set an intention the way a scientist records a hypothesis. No superstition, no pleading, just a calm statement of law. I accept a year of increasing peace, supply, and loving companionship. Every day I grow in wisdom and generosity. My subconscious agrees and proceeds. You then continue with your day, allowing the subconscious to work like the engines in the ship's hull while your conscious mind steers with gratitude. Notice how you stop arguing with compliments. Notice how you say yes to coffee with a person who inspires you. Notice the email you send that becomes a doorway. None of this is random. It is the signature of a mind that has changed its inner order. Have you noticed how your birthday pulls old emotions from the attic? Sometimes grief arrives in the ribbon box, surprising you with tears you didn't schedule. Do not interpret this as failure. It is housekeeping. The subconscious knows that before it expands the living room, it must sort the closets. When tender memories arise, practice a Murphy-style forgiveness. I release the past to divine order. I bless everyone, including myself. I declare this new year clean, clear, and guided. The emotion subsides not because you suppressed it but because you gave it a larger sky. A practical reflection that may change everything. What if your birthday, instead of being an annual dismissal, became your annual calibration? 1 hour alone, where you write 3 sentences that your subconscious can understand: who I am, what I welcome, and how I will serve. Speak them slowly, feel them as already true, and then carry them as the compass of your year. Even if no one calls, even if plans fall through, your calibration holds. People cannot celebrate what you have not authorized within yourself. Authorize it now, and the outer world will follow. Let us outline, in flowing narrative, a practice you can do tonight. Sit comfortably and allow your breathing to lengthen. Close your eyes lightly. Imagine the date of your birth written on the inside of your chest in gentle light. Whisper to yourself, this is the day the infinite chose for me to arrive. I bless my entrance. I bless my continuation. Now picture the next 12 months as a garden behind a gate. See your hand resting on the latch. Feel the sensation, the cool metal, the quiet expectancy. Do not force images, allow the scene to arise. When it feels natural, see yourself opening the gate and stepping onto soft earth. On the left side, rows of peace, quiet mornings, a mind that doesn't rush. On the right, rows of provision, timely payments, increased clients, new channels of income. Ahead, a row of companionship, smiles, understanding, laughter. Walk slowly between these rows, touching a few leaves as if you were blessing them by noticing. This is your visualization. You are not begging the garden to grow, you are consenting to the pattern that already exists in the infinite and impressing that consent upon your subconscious. When you finish walking, choose a corner of the garden and plant a name for the year. Perhaps ease, perhaps courage, perhaps overflow. Speak it softly 3 times. Then conclude with a scientific prayer that harmonizes your conscious and subconscious. Infinite presence within me, I accept this pattern as done. My subconscious is my faithful partner, organizing my steps, attracting right people, unfolding right timing. I give thanks, I release, I rest. End with silence. You have impressed the idea. Your work now is gratitude and expectancy. If, during the day, an opposite feeling appears, fear, cynicism, do not fight it. Simply return to your sentence, the pattern is accepted, my subconscious proceeds. In Murphy's teaching, consistency is the alchemy. Create affirmations that feel like home in your mouth. Not stiff declarations, but warm sentences you would say to a dear friend. I am safe to receive. I accept wise celebrations. My life is a blessing to others and others are a blessing to me. Repeat them when your mind wanders toward dismissal. Write one on a small card and keep it near your desk. Read it aloud the week of your birthday and on the first day of each month. You are not trying to convince a skeptical universe, you are teaching your inner servant what to build. Try the method of revision the night before your birthday. Review the last year with compassion. Wherever you feel a sting, pause, breathe, and replace the scene with the lesson learned and the blessing received. Say, I extract the wisdom and release the weight. Your subconscious, which lives in the eternal now, will accept this fresh version and file it as the official record. You will wake lighter, as if the future had been given more room to enter. Which area of your life do you want to transform first? Health, finances, love, vocation? Choose one and write a sentence in present tense. Gratitude, thank you for the increasing strength in my body. Thank you for the steady rise in my income. Thank you for the kind, mutual love unfolding easily. Read it morning and night for 30 days. Do this not as a chore but as a conversation with the infinite within you. Let's talk about boundaries, because some avoid birthdays to avoid obligations. Healthy boundaries are not walls, they are agreements that keep love honest. Decide in advance what kind of celebration serves your soul. You may prefer a quiet walk and a handwritten letter. You may enjoy a dinner with 3 people who truly see you. You may set your phone to airplane mode and sit with a book that has waited for you. What matters is that you choose with self-respect. The subconscious reads self-respect as a green light for expansion. When you spend your day as an apology or as a rebellion, your mind stays tense. When you spend it as an affirmation, this is how I honor my life, your mind relaxes and receives. If anxiety rises as the day approaches, breathe and turn anxiety into assignment. Every twinge of worry is a bell that reminds me to affirm my new law. Use the very energy of unrest to hammer your new pattern into place. In a week, you will notice that what used to trigger withdrawal now triggers prayer, and prayer, in Murphy's sense, is simply directed feeling. Tell us in the comments which area of your life you want to transform. Your word is a powerful seed. And answer this from your heart, have you noticed that when you bless a day, it often blesses you back? If so, write it below and let your testimony become a suggestion that helped someone else. There is also a financial dimension. Many who call their birthday just another day also treat invoices, opportunities, and raises as nothing special. They deposit checks without gratitude, say yes to underpayment, and apologize for asking fair prices. Learn to honor every channel of supply as a candle on your cake. Put your hand on your wallet and bless it with a sentence Murphy would recognize: money is a symbol of service rendered and received. I circulate it with wisdom, and it returns multiplied to bless many. When this becomes your inner ritual, your outer life reflects order and increase. Then, when your birthday arrives, give a gift anonymously to someone in need and say, as I release, I make room for more. The subconscious loves order and generosity, it responds by opening new streams. Finally, practice the birthday blessing for others. On their day, do not envy, affirm. Say, as I bless the good in them, I expand the good in me. Envy shrinks you, but blessing enlarges your house. The subconscious, being literal, interprets your blessing as permission to replicate in your life the happiness you celebrate in another. Comment "I believe in divine power" if you choose blessing over comparison from this day forward. There comes a moment in every sincere journey when the intellect bows and the heart steps into its rightful presidency. Let this be such a moment. Close your eyes for a breath and feel the pulse in your wrist. This rhythm is older than your worries. It began before you had a name and it continues now, faithful as dawn. On some of your birthdays you felt unseen, on others you felt radiant. Through them all, something loved you enough to keep your heart beating. To call your day just another day is to forget the lover. To honor your day is to whisper back, "I remember." Carry this remembrance into the simplest actions. Wake on your birthday and make your bed as if you were preparing a small altar. Drink water slowly and thank your body for its intelligent labors. Step to the window and speak 6 words that can re-script a year. I accept a new and better pattern. Feel them leave your lips and settle into your chest. Smile, not because everything is fixed but because you have aligned with the only power that can fix it. Later, when you meet people, let them finish their compliments and say, "Thank you," without deflection. When you glance at your calendar and the old indifference knocks, answer with a gentle firmness, "This day is a hinge. I open." The subconscious, hearing the same music again and again, will learn the dance. You may ask, what about those who truly cannot celebrate this year, because of loss, because of financial strain, because of distance? To them I say with reverence, celebration is not always noise, sometimes it is a vow. Light one candle, even if only in your imagination. Dedicate your year to healing or to service. Write a letter to your future self and promise that you will not surrender your expectancy. In the arithmetic of spirit, the smallest sincere gesture outweighs the grandest performance. God meets you in the quiet room as surely as in the crowded hall, and your subconscious takes its cue from the sincerity, not the spectacle. Everything begins in thought. It begins in the image you choose, the feeling you rehearse, the sentence you repeat. The world is full of evidence, but your life is full of instructions you gave before the evidence arrived. Choose wisely now. Choose sentences that expand you. Choose pictures that ennoble you. Choose a name for your year that makes your spine a little taller. The law of mind will not argue, it will arrange. You do not need to know how the door will open, you need only to keep standing where doors can find you. Here are final practical steps, woven as a gentle path you can walk this week. The night before your birthday, write 3 blessings you received this past year, even if they arrived disguised as challenges. By naming them, you turn them into power. The morning of your day, speak your year's name and carry it like a candle: ease, courage, overflow. At noon, breathe and visualize your garden for 60 seconds. At evening, give a gift in any form: money, encouragement, a kind message, and say, "As I give, I grow." Before sleep, place your hand on your heart and pray the scientific way: "Infinite presence within me, I accept this year as guided, prosperous, and harmonious." My subconscious agrees and proceeds. I give thanks. These are not superstitions, they are instructions to the instrument that plays your life. Now let us lift our eyes together. Imagine, just for a moment, that the infinite gazes at you the way a mother gazes at a sleeping child, no criticism, only affection and promise. Imagine this love pronouncing over you, "Very good." Imagine your year as a river already flowing, and your new expectancy as the small turn of the wrist that aligns your boat with the current. You have spent years being brave in silence. Be brave now in receptivity. Be courageous in allowing. Let people love you. Let provision find you. Let ideas arrive with a grin. Say yes to small celebrations and watch them multiply. And if old memories return and try to sit at the head of your table, greet them, thank them for their service, and invite them to the audience while you take your rightful seat. What's the first positive thought you will plant in your subconscious today? Write it below, that it may root deeper by being spoken. If you feel the gentle certainty that you are ready for a better pattern, say so. This community is not a crowd, it is a circle of lamps, and your sentence will light another traveler's way. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue your journey of personal, mental, financial, and spiritual transformation. The power is within you, and each new video is a step to awaken it. Walk into your year with the quiet confidence of one who knows that the universe is friendly, that God is near, that the subconscious is faithful, and that a day is never just another day when you are fully present to receive it.